Good morning, March 28, 2022, TGIM, right? In full disclosure, I am recording this a few days earlier as I will be out of commission on the weekend when I typically try and do these. So if stuff has happened between now and then that may sound out of the ordinary for what we're talking about here today, that's what happened. So when people ask things of you to do, maybe to offer you with something maybe a little bit outside your comfort zone, what do you say? Do you typically say yes and go for it anyway, or do you hesitate, think about it, and then maybe say yes, or do you pretty much say, absolutely not, I cannot do that, right? These are things that sometimes when we're asked of, especially if they're going to flirt with the comfort zone limits, are usually disguised opportunities for maybe something more and better. If you are willing to obviously prepare properly for whatever it is that might be being asked of you, and that you do it with a certain degree of confidence, albeit with maybe a lot of nervousness or uncertainty to a point. So something to be thinking about when we're here today also to keep raising our vibe. Saying yes to things like that is a potential for raising the vibe, but there's a lot of different ways that we can. Maybe you can share on ways that you choose and do to raise your vibe, to reach a better frequency, if so to speak. Some people use affirmations, some people have their to-do lists and their goals, and they really focus on trying to work on those and accomplish some, get that dopamine hit from checking off things. And that, in its own way, raises a vibe. Having much joy, laughing, notwithstanding the worries that we might be experiencing, finding ways to laugh, watching a funny movie, or looking at and listening to comedy, or just being with others and kind of kibutzing in and having some fun. I know it can be hard sometimes because, some of us grew up with a guilt consciousness from whatever cause or reason, but you have to overcome that guilty feeling of trying to be in the right place or in a higher place or a good place, despite all the stuff that's happening that, kind of doesn't seem fair all the time. So there's that also involved in what we're trying to do to raise this vibe. But here's the thing, though, experience shows, and it is showing that when enough of us, a quantum leap, enough of us do this, it does raise a vibe. It does raise a vibe for a larger group, a larger community, or maybe even worldwide, as we see a lot of stuff happening in a maybe a little bit more favorable light. So, there is some merit to it. It's not perfect. It's not 100%, of course, but it is something that's worth our attention and worth our efforts, even if it's in little small things again, right? So is your world good? Is it doing great? Is it awesome? These are things that can help us initiate some motion, some movement, some mojo, some juju to say yes. Say yes, and then show up anyway. Spread that hope even more so that we can do, and have, and give ever more to our families and our teams. Yes. We can do this, but it does require a little bit of effort. So have yourselves a fantastic day and an even more awesome week. Cheers and ciao.